Hey everybody. So today we decided to drive to Vonore, Tennessee and do a video in the state park down here. I don't want to say too much, although if you read the description you already know.
We're here to uncover some more Tennessee history.
Right. And
soak up its beauty.
Yep. So we're going to take a look at Fort Loudoun and some other stuff today, but we're going to start you off with this here.
Oh, honey, is this a man-made lake?
Yeah, this is a lake. My goodness, and I just read it too. That's the horrible part. I'm just in awe of the view. But it's Tellico Lake, that's what it is. See how quickly I remember? My brain's not completely gone yet. Anyway, it's Tellico Lake, and the Little Tennessee River flows into this and out of this. So pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Goodness.
So follow us. Yeah, so they have a lot of picnic tables and
with really nice views, actually.
Yeah, some of them sit right on the water, which is nice. They do have restrooms.
Really clean, beautiful little park here.
Yeah.
Plenty of parking.
Yeah, lots of parking. And there is a lot of trails in here too for hiking. We're gonna try to, there he is. I don't know if you can see him in there, little skink. He's trying to get away. Yeah, he's hidden in there. You just never know what you're gonna see. Now they also rent canoe or kayaks here, which would be pretty cool. So here's why we're here. Fort Loudoun State Historic Area from 1756 to 1760. And this fort played a significant role in helping Great Britain secure the Trans-Appalachian region from France during the 7-Year War, or as it's known, the French and Indian War. So that's cool. And there's the hours of operation.
Honey, they also have interpretive programs.
Yes, they do.
For flower and fauna hikes and kayaking.
Yep. And here's a map of the area.
Well, they have the 18th century living. I'd like to see that.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna go in here and check out the visitor center first and foremost. So it's a little gift shop.
Little hand carved whistles.
That's cool. Stephanie loves the quill and ink set. I know that without even asking. Stinky. T-shirts. Some books. And colonial bears. They're cool. Things Stephanie doesn't care for.
Jamestown. Oh yeah, snakes. Jamestown glass, it looks like. It's a great price.
This is y'all's first time visiting?
Let's take a little look at the museum they have set up here. Of course, there's one of the soldiers' tents. And these are actual artifacts that they found here.
This is part of the trade route in the 1750s.
Yep.
With the Indians and the British.
There's your clay pipes.
I love them.
Butchered animal bones. Chickens and cattle. Now they do have a little film, which
theater.
we're gonna try to catch that.
DeSoto was here.
Hernando de Soto. And that would have been a foot soldier. Fido. And that would have been from the Mississippian World of 1540.
A horse soldier.
And that was a horse soldier's.
There he is.
Yeah, so there you get an idea. And an idea of the Native Americans in the area.
And the trade that they were doing here, trading skins, beads, glass, knives.
Yep.
Probably farm experience too.
Show you some of the dioramas here. Which are pretty cool. They are tough to get because of the glass, but the Brown Bess, the main weapon carried by the British troops. I personally like the pistols. They're cool.
Oh, wow. Just imagine finding those.
Yeah. The musket balls.
This is crazy. Is this not what you hang above the mantle?
Yeah, that is one big gun. Known as a wall gun. So that's cool. I'm sure my camera is not doing it justice of how big that is. Now, if all goes well, we're going to actually go take a look at that. Coming up, the Tellico Blockhouse. And more stuff. Some glasses and scissors, knives.
There's my china in my pipes.
Stephanie's pipes in China.
See, my stuff could be in a museum, my love.
Yep. So that was a pretty cool museum.
Yeah, it pays to stop and read everything.
Yep. We're going to take a little walk down to the fort. And they actually have, I don't want to call them reenactments, but they actually have people down here dressed in period clothing to tell stories and stuff like that. So we're going to go check that out, which should be pretty cool.
This is also a free museum.
Yes.
With donations welcome. Hannah Free Park.
Yep.
Right outside Knoxville.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful country. See, I can see the walls of the fort already.
Yeah. Here we go. Fort Loudoun, constructed by the English in 1756 to help win the Valley of Mississippi, captured by the Indians under French influence in 1760. Marked by the Tennessee Society of the Colonial Dames of America in 1917. And you can kind of see through the trees there. That's where we're headed.
Just a reminder that this country was built on treaties after treaty after treaty. And most of those treaties, not all of those treaties, were broken at one time.
Yeah.
So when we pay homage to our history, we have to respectfully understand that it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows.
Yep. Now, across the way over there is the Tellico Blockhouse, 1794 to 1807, and we'll give more information, and we're actually gonna go over there.
Those are the actual ruins of the blockhouse.
Yeah.
Here is reconstruction.
Yeah, where we're at now, Fort Loudoun, this is a reconstruction. Heading in. So, I want in the comments below if you know what a Sally Port is. Well, we're going to go through one right now. And here we are, inside the fort. So we're going to go check this out. And I guess this is the closest building. We'll start here. Pretty dark, but some of the muskets. Different shells that they would have shot. Cannon cartridges, musket balls.
It's actually cool in here compared to outside. I'm assuming that's because of the stones.
Could be, yeah.
For having the temperature just right with having some explosives in it.
This would have been for their ammo. So let's take a look up here. And we got our cannons, we're ready. Anybody coming down that trail's in a whole world of hurt. But you can see the view from up here. Steph-N-Lee standing down there in the shade. It is a pretty hot one today. So I really think these are cool. Row homes. Let's go check the inside of one of these out. Lots of beds.
The barracks.
Yep. They had their beds, the table, and the fireplace. Next one, same as the first. But pretty cool. Now the one here on the end is a little different. A lot more beds.
So they each have fireplaces.
Yep.
And this one of course has two. They each have stone foundations, shaker roof.
Yeah, so pretty cool in here. I could see, I could live in something like this and have no problem. What say ye?
Oh yeah, if I had to.
Hey, now this, here we got cheese and candles, tobacco, beef, salt. So this, almost like a little general store, but you know, of course not a store.
Right, well the whole point is all of this would have been transported by ship
Right.
from England to support the British who were stationed here.
Right. There's coffee, bacon, whiskey. And I don't think a person could go wrong. This is the one I want to live in. We got blankets, more bacon.
Cheese.
Alrighty, so I'm glad you guys came out today. As I said, usually pretty much every single day I'm out here starting at 1 doing Cherokee interpretation. That is what I am. I'm a Cherokee, raised and born in Knoxville, Tennessee. My name is Kyle. I'm an SIR interpreter ranger and Cherokee living historian here at Fort Lauderdale State Historic Area. But I've been here for almost 24 years as a volunteer, doing exactly what I get paid to do now, as being an employee of the state. But anyway, I am what you call a living historian. So as you guys can see, this is the representation of Tuskegee Town. Tuskegee Town is right outside the fort gates. This right here is actually what you guys are sitting in, is actually the summer house. That over there in the far left behind me is the winter house, and obviously the winter house is meant for your cold months where you might have snow and extreme wind and chill, and of course your summer house is meant for your more hotter months, as in the month we are in. Now of course also, if you're a really hot-natured person like I am, if it gets really warm during the day, you can go into the winter house and cool off. The clay and adobe and earth walls on the side make it very cool during the hot summers. But anyway, the way it works is during the cold winter, the way it would work is you would put a cat towel mat under the front of the door. You would stack it on the top of the underneath the ceiling and let it drop down. A cat towel mat is woven stripped pieces of river cane, which is what grows here behind me and behind the house. That is native native to East Tennessee. It is of the bamboo family. It's not bamboo, but it is of the bamboo family. It's also called river cane. And river cane, like I said, is native to East Tennessee, and we used it for several things. As you guys can see, we used it for our racks, for our bed. We used it for the ceilings. We also used it for our blowguns, and also arrow shafts, and even fire blowing sticks. We used it for several things. But anyway, as you guys probably saw in the VC, we have a plaque up there. That's our times for our living history garrison weekends. We actually have a garrison this weekend, 5th and 6th, 10 till 5 on Saturday, 10 till 2 on Sunday. And the way it works is we have living historians and volunteers that come all around from North America and up in Canada. They come to this site here, and we teach and educate people about the 18th century F&I time period, specifically here at the site. So we're looking at the 1750s. And when living historians come here, most people have the assumption that we dress like this and we come in during the day and we leave. When we do a living history garrison weekend, we're here all weekend. My rack is in that corner right over there. That's where I sleep when I'm here during a weekend. So the way it works is there's no Wi-Fi, no AC, no heat, no plumbing, no showers. And we stay here the entire weekend and teach people skills and demonstrate and show how people would have lived and survived in this time period.
I can honestly say I'm jealous.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Where do we sign up?
What we have here, these 3 different arrows, is what you call an Atlatl arrow. This is the actual tool that's called an Atlatl. It's pretty much just a dense type of wood material that's been burned down and shaped down by usually somebody who knows how to do wood, a wood carver, a wood maker, carpenter. And the way it works is it's pretty much an extension of your arm. what you want to do is you want to put your index finger and your thumb in the ropes right here. It keeps the tension, keeps the pressure, and you put your other 3 fingers on the outside here. And what happens is you see the dart or arrow, you can see that it's got a divot in the tip. So kind of like when you knock an arrow onto a bow, once you knock it and you pull it back, that knock and string is what allows you to keep the pressure for you to release it. Same thing with here. What you're going to do is you're going to knock your arrow, put the fletchings in between your Atlatl tool, and you're going to balance it just like that. Or you're going to balance it and pinch it. Just like this. I like the pinchant method because it gives you a little bit more control. At least it feels like it does for me anyway. But anyway, this is, like I said, this is the Atlatl. It's been used in North America for over 10,000 years. This is what you call a Paleolithic era type of weapon. Paleolithic means prior to history. It means prior to history being documented and recorded. But like I said, it's been used in North America for over 10,000 years. Your Western Plains Indians, they would have used those this particular weapon quite a bit. It wasn't a combat weapon. It was more of a hunting tool. It was more of a hunting weapon. So the way it works is, like I said, the Atlatl allows you to put the extra power and velocity on your projectile. Unlike your arm, when this thing is thrown properly by somebody who has practiced and somebody knows the right mechanics and lets the tool do the work for them, this type of projectile can be thrown 70, 80 yards.
Wow.
Easily. So your Western people like the Apache, the Comanche, the Lakota, they would use this for hunting big game such as buffalo, water bison, even horse, and also prior to North America's people, as most of us know, like the Cherokee, the Shawnee, the Chickasaw, the Creek. You're looking at your Mississippian eras and your nomadic tribes, like back in BC era. This is when those people used this method a lot to kill the mammoths. That's the type of weapon of choice they would have used. And of course, you have your tomahawk, also known as a throwing hatchet. This right here is not really used for fighting. This particular one's not. It's mostly used as a tool and for recreation, for throwing. This is a traditional made hawk, so this has been made by a blacksmith. It's been hammered out over an anvil, and then they've got a dense piece of wood, shaved off the end here, left the tip bigger, and they have pounded, usually got a mallet or something like that, pounded the head over it, put a splint in the top of it, swelled the wood out, so it will not go up and down when you're using it. But anyway, like I said, it is made traditionally with a blacksmith, so you can see just by looking on the end of that, you can tell that's a very sharp blade. So as far as axes go, a lot of people think in our time period that, as far as Native Americans go, that our primary weapon of choice was a musket or a gun, kind of like what the Europeans would have used. Actually, our gun was our last resource, We would only use that gun as a last defense. Our main weapons for a Cherokee, to this area anyway, were hawks, war clubs, and a knife. Those were our 3 main weapons of choice. So the way it works is you always have your tomahawk or your war club in your dominant hand. You have your knife blade out in your undominant hand. So the way it works is you fight together with them in unison. So usually when you attack an enemy with a bladed object, they're going to try to block or a defense or do anything they can to keep your bladed object from entering their body. So the first place you attack is usually where they're going to go and try to stop your blade. So the way it works is, if you're attacking an enemy with a hawk and a knife together, you can go for the legs and go for the throat. Or you can come up here across the neck and go for the stomach, kidneys, lungs. And you can also come across, stab at the same time, throat, underkill. And like I said, this wasn't meant for a combat type of fighting. This is meant for throwing. The type of axes that we would use for fighting are fixed blades, which means they've been and usually they have a thicker, heavier handle. Combat axes were always made with really thick handles, so then if your blade was at a negative angle to where you couldn't hit your enemy, you can use your handle as a projectile. And then of course, we also have what we call a shot bag or a cartridge bag. So pretty much what I keep in here is I keep musket tools in the front, and in the back I keep my cartridges. Cartridges are a small grain of black powder that we would use in our muskets. And unfortunately, I don't have my musket with me because it needs to be cleaned. Somebody used it last when I was gone, and I just cleaned it before I left, and now there's rust all over it.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Fine.
That's not good.
Yeah. But that's my shot bag and or cartridge bag. We're matrilineal, which means the women take the mother's last name, and or in this case, we are a clan people, so you take your mother's clan.
Huh.
And the way it works for us is the father is not really a family member. He's more of a family relative. The way it works in our culture, at least for this time period and this site right here, the women, they own everything. They own the house, they own the land, they own the garden, they own the children, they own the objects and all of the possessions inside the house. The only thing that a woman did not own was a man's choice, body, and his possessions. Those are the only three things that women did not own. And also, women had the final say in everything we did. So they had a final say if we went to war or not. They had a final say if we had captives. They had a final say if they had got adopted into the tribe or if they were executed. Or if they were ransomed back to the Europeans for trade goods.
See, so it's just like our house. You dictate what we eat for dinner, and she always tells everybody that he just makes whatever he wants. He doesn't even ask me, but it's so not the truth.
There you go. So as you guys can also see, my clothes are period correct. They are not what we would have traditionally worn prior to Europeans coming. But this is all trade items. These are white man breeches. This is a trade shirt. Now usually what I wear is my leggings. I have red wool leggings, a red wool breechcloth, and a trade shirt, and usually a woven belt on. That is my Cherokee attire, and it's awfully hot. So that's why I chose this today. But all those clothing items are trade goods. Prior to Europeans crossing over from Europe, we didn't have those type of things. We had buckskin and leather. Those were the things that we used.
Right.
And traditional dress for women was a leather to a buckskin skirt, and they didn't have shirts. Women went topless in this time period, and the men also went topless, and they had usually leather to buckskin leggings and a buckskin breechcloth. And those are the type of clothes we would have used prior to Europeans coming over. Once Europeans crossed over, we started trading for the linen and the wool and the different polyesters and all the stuff that they had, because it was very fancy with color and also easier to get. All the clothes that we wore prior to Europeans coming over took a lot of time to get. You had to go hunting, you had to do the fixing, you had to scrape, you had to do brain tan. So just to get one outer of clothes, what might take you, anywhere from 3 to 4 days, depending if you can get game quick enough. So it takes quite a bit. So imagine trying to do a whole family in that type of attire. It takes quite a bit of time. And at this time period, you're trying to survive.
Right.
So you have to pretty much use whatever means is necessary to you. So anyway, what we have here is the Atlatls, of course, and then we also have a hawk block. Now this is not actually period correct. This is something me and my brother put up for Junior Ranger Camp. Junior Ranger Camp is, we pick a week during summer, and we have anywhere from 25 to 30 kids, ages 8 to 11. They come out here, and it's a week-long program, and we do different skills, teach them different skills and different programs, do demonstrations for them, and then they also get to try as well, and we kind of show them what it's like to live in this time period, and they also get to see what it's like being in the military for a week as a British regular. So the way it works is, you've got your kill shots on your corners. This is if you were versing somebody The way it works is if they get all their sticks, all their hits, and you miss all yours, the way it works is you have one last throw to hit a kill shot. If you hit a kill shot, you automatically win. The way it works is the outside is a stick. Here to here is 5 points. There's 10 points. And again, this ain't period correct. The period correct huck block would be just a round base piece of tree. And usually what you do is you put a old 18th century correct playing card in the middle, kind of tack it down into the wood, hopefully it will stick. And the way it works is when you throw, you hit the board, that's a stick. If you hit the card, that's 2 points. If you nick a card and a piece falls off, it's 3 points. If you hit the card in the middle and it splits in two and it falls to the ground, it's automatic win. So if you guys want to step on this side, I'll show you guys how to throw one. Bogey, golf bogey is 7 in my language. So 7 is the perfect number usually for most adults to give the perfect amount of time for the hawk to be thrown to do one full rotation and hit blade. Usually it works is if you hit handle like this, you need to, if you're hitting handle like this, you need to step back to give time for that handle to rotate and hit the blade. If you're hitting like this, the butt of your axe head, you need to step forward. So what you're going to do is, if you're right-handed or left-handed, when you end up throwing, you should end up in this position, just like this. So what you're going to do is, it's one fluid motion. You're going to aim where you want, 90 degrees, release about right here.
Wow.
Just one fluid motion. And the way it works is, that is the standard throw, straight down and frontwards. But eventually, once you kind of get used to it and you understand the grain of your wood and the type of target you have, you can change your throw up and start doing stuff like this. Or you hit your other target and you miss completely. But that is the way you throw one of these. So who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
All right, that's the better one. So since you guys are both full adult and bodied, you're gonna stand in the same spot I was. So you can see where I stand. You can see the dirt. So it's just one fluid motion. Yep, just like that. You hit the blade.
That wasn't
so that
bad.
means I move up.
No.
No.
No, you hit the blade. You just didn't stick. You want to try to. Some pieces of wood are thicker, more dense than others. So you want to try to aim where you see all of the contact at. But you can obviously tell this is where it's been stuck quite a bit. So usually if you throw in this area, it's going to stick very easily. And what you want to do is, you don't want to chuck it. You want to let the tool do the work for you. So it doesn't take a lot. So try again. See if you can get it to stick. Oh man, you're getting so close. You're hitting blade. It's just not sticking.
Yeah, you're doing good, hon.
It's my wrist.
Try the other one. Third time's a charm.
We'll say I'm impressed.
There it is.
Hey, good job, hon.
Okay, baby, I gotta get you now.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and stick both of them. That might be. There you go.
You want me to show you how to do it, honey?
You might need to.
There we go. So slide down a little bit on the handle. A little bit more right there. There we go.
That was hot.
This is so fun. Oh, feel like we're really learning an awful lot.
All right. Should give that one another try. There it is.
That was decent.
Nicely done. So what you guys see me doing there is pretty much what I'm doing is I am tightening the heads. So anytime when you throw one of these, it hits the handle or even hits the blade itself, after a while it becomes loose. So what I'm doing is I'm sliding it up and down. You guys can see where it's slid down,
yeah.
it's been pushed back up. It takes quite a bit of time to make one of these, and they're also a pain, especially when you get one that is finicky and that gets loose all the time. I've had an axe like this, well, actually the other week. You guys see that split right there? It goes all the way down. I pretty much pulled a Robin Hood is what I did. I was showing demonstrations last week for the Oklahoma Kadua band. That's another Cherokee tribe, or a Cherokee faction out of Oklahoma. They came all the way here just to see my program. The curator over at Sequoia Birthplace Museum, Charlie Tolley, is a good friend of mine, told them about my program, and they wanted to come and see it. But the other day, I pretty much did this. Stuck it here and did that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, it was cool. I turned around and said, yeah, I meant to do that. But yeah, so anyway, those are the Hawks.
And you had those made, or you made those?
I had those made. I am blacksmith by trade. I've had most of my friends are a lot better at it than I am because they have more time to practice and do it. But I mostly make knives. That's mostly what I stick with. But a good friend of mine made those, and he's extraordinary. I've had those for probably about over a month. I'm not sharpened them once. They're sharp. All right, so here's the Atlatl. So like I said earlier, you're gonna put your index finger and thumb in the ropes, just like this, and knock it. You're gonna put the fletchings between, and you're going to pinch it and balance it just like this. You want to make sure that when you throw, that you're not leading with your elbow. Like when you throw a baseball, you lean in with it with your elbow and your wrist, and you come across your body.
Right.
With this, you want to think robot. You want to do this. You want to come just like this and go back just like this and go 90-degree angle. Just kind of like the tomahawk, you don't want to overextend and overthrow. You want to let the tool do the work for you. So let's see, I'm gonna make sure there's nobody out there. All right, I think we're good. So where it works is you're going to take a 2-3 steps running start, and whatever hand you are, you're going to step with your opposite foot. So if you're right-handed, you're going to end like this when you throw and release forward. Same way if you're left-handed. So marry me. So how far do you think this small arrow will travel when I throw?
Well, knowing that you said they could go up to 80 yards.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see. Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's about 60 to 70 yards right there. And usually the way it works is you fit the projectile to the hunter. So I use that one because it's great for demonstration purposes. That's not the right arrow for me. The right arrow for my height and build would be a medium arrow. Because the way it works is if you have an arrow that's too small for your size or too big for your size, you're going to either underthrow it or overthrow it, and it's going to kill the velocity. So as you can see, that is a very long way.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to retrieve that arrow, and I'm going to let you guys try. But in this time period, we didn't really use these that much. Like I said, the Western people, they used them a lot. But for our people, we didn't really use them in the hunting. We used it for recreation, mostly. So there's this game, it's a century-old game. It's called Chungi. This dates back to the Mississippian people, which is prior to my people and all the other tribes that most people are familiar with of today's era. You know, the Cherokee, the Muskogee, the Mohawk.
You got him? He's talking about the game. Yeah.
Yeah, the game.
But this is called Chungi. So the way it works is you have 2 players per round. And the way it works is you have a bowler, aka a spotter. He throws this cylinder rolled stone that's usually flat on both sides, but it's got a cylinder slide to it, so it rolls quite a long distance. And the way it works is, and then he throws that stone so far, and then you've got another player who is a thrower. The way it works is when he releases that stone on a playing field much like this, the thrower's objective is to throw as far as he can and hit in front of the Chungi stone before it stops and rolls over. It's pretty much a distance game. You're looking to see which warrior can throw the farthest. That's what you're looking for. And
That's-
it's a big betting game. Most Native Americans love to gamble. That's one of the stereotypical things of my people, but it is true. We love to gamble.
I would have never guessed that.
Oh yeah. Well, another game that is traditional for our people and most Native Americans of the Southeast is it's also called the Little Brother of War. It's called stickball, which is actually where the lacrosse in college comes from. It's a very tough game. They call it the Little Brother of War because you can get killed in this game. It is a very tough game, rough game too. The way it works is you have 2 teams, and there is no limit. You can have 60 on this side, you can have 40 on this side. You can have teams up to 100. Doesn't matter. And you have this little ball that's about this big. It's a tad bigger than a golf ball. And the way it works is this ball is made out of leather pieces and buckskin, and it's been smushed in and wrapped and then sewn. And you've got 2 sticks, a lot like this, that have been split down the middle, soaked, and then wrapped, and then you have a netting holder, and you tie knots in leather, strap it across, just like a lacrosse racket would be, same way. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm getting all kinds of tickles in my throat today. But anyway, this game was big on betting, making money, gambling, but it was also used to between towns to settle disputes. So the way it worked is if you guys had a dispute with another town, this own town could even be your own people. I mean, in this area right here, you had 50,000 Cherokee strong in this town right here. The lake that you guys see out there is Tellico. That was flooded in the 70s by TVA. Thank you, TVA. It flooded. They made the dam and made the dam for recreation. By doing that, they flooded over 100 miles of Indian villages and over 300 years of history by doing that. So the way it works is you would play this game to handle disputes, and usually you would have a goalpost on both sides of a field, and the field would be probably about that of a football field or longer. And the way your object is to throw the ball across that goal line and score. And there is no rules. The only rule that there is you cannot use your hands on the ball. That's the only rule, which means you can get killed. You can really get killed in this game. It's a very rough game. I played it myself.
The ball is stone. It is clay.
It's leather and buckskin.
Leather and
so
buckskin.
You stuff it with any type of materials that you want, even deer hair.
It'd be hard.
Yeah. And it has enough weight so you can throw it. And the way it works is you cup just like in lacrosse where they have one and they have a big net where they scoop it.
Right.
In this game you have 2 and you hold it and cup it. And your object is just to keep it away from the other team and try to pass it and flick it to the other side. Yeah, so now you know why it's called
Brutal.
Little Brother of War. And actually, if you guys look at my legs, you can see those are all scars from all the years of
bruising
playing,
and scars.
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's also another game that is traditional to the Cherokee people that is called medicine ball. Now, medicine ball is not nearly as rough, but it is still a pretty rough game. You can't get killed in this game, but you can get hurt. Medicine ball is a courting game for young couples. So the way it works is you have young men and women that play together, play against each other, and it's also a game that is meant to honor women. So more or less, it's kind of a game that is meant for women to win. The way it works is women sacrifice a lot for men. They sacrifice every month for us so we can bear children and bear families. So once a year at our green corn ceremony, we have this game that's meant to honor women for what they go through every month, and for putting up with us. That's why we play.
Yeah, I was going to tell her, don't get any ideas.
There you go. So anyway, it's to honor women, and the way it works is the women have no rules. They can break your fingers if they want to. For the men, the rules are you can't get too rough with the women. You can use your body, but not your hands. You got to cup your hands like this, and you use the weight of your body in your chest and your shoulders. And like I said, it's a courting game, so it's meant for young women and young men to kind of have, some tussles. Yes, that's what it's meant for. So anyway, the men have 2 rules. They can't get rough with the women. You can't use your hands. and you cannot use your hands on the ball. You have to use your feet, like soccer, with the ball. Now women, like I said, they have no rules. They can use their hands on the men and on the ball.
Wow.
So you can imagine how tough it is for the men to actually win this game. And it's just like stickball. You've got two goals. You've got a women's goal, a men's goal, and you try to make it to the other side. Now the way it does work is if you have men that either cheat or get too rough with the women, you've got a whole arena of women on the outside of the playing field that are called drivers. Drivers hold a stick of river cane with tussles on the end of it, and you get too rough with the women, they'll come by and they'll
Flog you.
they'll smack the tar out of you. As you can tell, that is a good portion of those is from medicine ball, and unfortunately some of the drivers, you don't have to do anything and they'll still smack you. They like to do it.
So that's a game that you still practice for
Oh,
ceremonial.
Yes. Like I said, I am traditional, so I know my language, I know the old ways, my songs, and the old ways. Like I said, I was raised traditionally up in the mountains, so it's very life today is very different for me. I'm not your typical young generational student. So, and needless to say, technology is very difficult for me to use. I barely know how to use my phone or computer, and I've been in college for 6 years, so you can imagine how challenging that is when everything's technology ran and technological based. But anyway, those are the games of North America for to Eastern Woodland people, and they are traditional and they are still played today. Stickball, not so much, because you can't ever find people that want to play. And medicine ball, it's a fun game. It's also, like I said, it's a rough game. It's meant for an honor game. It's also a pray game for prayers. Usually what works is before you go and play a game, you go to water. Water is something that we do for teaching and for praying for ourselves. Just like I said, 7 is the special number for tomahawk. 7 and 4, nungi, wakwogi, 7 and 4, are sacred numbers to the Cherokee. Just because we believe 4 and 7 are perfect numbers. They're also prime numbers. I think that's correct. I was never good at math.
No, me either.
I'm good at simple math. The math they do now is not math.
Right.
Here, here.
Exactly. But anyway, but like I said, those are the games. So if you guys want to, you guys can step up here and we can let you guys throw a Atlatl arrow.
Yeah, you're gonna go first.
All right, so the medium arrow would be what you need to use. So you
Atlatl,
stick your index thumb here, keep pressure on it, so you want the tight tension. Put your other 3 fingers like here, knock it just like that, hold it, pinch it 90 degrees, and when you come through just like this, and make sure to follow through, flick your wrist.
Okay.
And there's nobody out there, so you're good to go.
Nope. This leg up, right?
Yes, if you're right-handed, when you end, you're going to put this foot up, and the way it works is usually the higher you bring your foot, the more momentum you're going to have, and the farther your arrow's going to go.
So I start on this.
That wasn't bad. I've seen.
I thought about it too much.
Oh, it's not easy to do. I'll tell you what, it is not easy to do. With all we
What is turkey in your language?
galuggy luggy,
Because
because the sound that they make.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, galuggy luggy.
And what's deer?
All we,
Ollie. Aw.
all we. So if you were hunting, you wanted to use this, you would have used a bow and arrow, archery, or you would have used your musket, which is usually your least. Honestly, once the Europeans came over, that was the more weapon of choice that we used for hunting because it was the cleanest. When you used bow and arrow or an Atlatl, it would damage your pelt.
Yeah.
Because the projectile was so long and pointed, it would really, depending on if you were not as accurate as other people where they could hit exactly where they wanted, you would ruin your pelt, and your pelt in financial gain and fanciness would go down.
Now, how about the blowguns? What did they?
Yes, now the blowguns, that was your first weapon as a Cherokee warrior. So in this era, this time period here at this site, a Cherokee boy would become a man at age 10. So at age 10, you would go out with your uncle, start learning how to hunt, how to fight, how to use certain weapons. And your first weapon, your first personal weapon that your family would give you is a blowgun, which is made out of river cane. So the way it works is you get a decently thumb size or bigger piece of river cane, usually anywhere from, usually if you're small at 10, you get one that's probably about 3.5 to 4 feet long, and then once you become bigger, you get one that's anywhere from 3.5 to 5 feet. And you bore it out, burn it out, get all the nodes and all the modules out. Usually, some people make them with the modern tools, it makes it a lot easier. Some people choose the traditional way. Traditional way takes months, depending on how long and how much time you have to work on it. And then you also make blowgun darts, which is just shaved down pieces of thin piece of wood with thistles on the end of it. If you guys have ever seen the purple flowers, those were thistles, and that's what we collect those every harvest, and we get the seed. We get the seed fletchings that and the spurs that come off of them and pollinate between the females and male plants, and we take those and we take and bundle them and weave them together and make fletchings across the blowgun dart to give it weight so it will fly when you blow it. And at an age 10 or 11, when a Cherokee boy would get one of these, you start learning how to hit a target first. So the way it works is, me and my brother used to have competition all the time. You make a hay or straw woven basket target, anywhere from this size to this size. And first you start learning how to hit it standing, just like this. And then eventually you start learning how to hit it in midair. And then you have people that roll it on the ground and you start hitting it that way. Once you're able to hit every single target in a different motion, different form, you're ready to go hunt. So what works is, with a blowgun, you would go for small game animals. So you would go for shillelagh, which is squirrel. You would go for G-squaw, which is bird. And then you could also go for rodents, chipmunks, stuff like that. And even if you were brave enough to eat it, but like I said, in this time period, you were surviving, so you would eat practically anything that was edible, right? To an extent at all. You would eat gutly. Gutly is raccoon. And you would also go for ogana. Ogana is groundhog. So those are mostly the type of animals that you would hunt in this area with a blowgun. And of course, you also have the Shikana G-squaw, blue jay. A lot of people would hunt those because blue jays are annoying. I love a red cardinal. They're graceful and quiet. Blue jays are mean and loud and annoying.
Then we're going back in to check out the rest of the fort and the defensive perimeter was to impede Indian attacks. There's their well. Check out some of these other cabins. So, not 100% sure of all what they use this for, but there's a sharpening stone. That's kind of cool.
I would say this is a blacksmith.
Yep, definitely the blacksmith shop. Which is pretty awesome. Go check this one. More beds. Well, they had lots of room, didn't they?
I'll say.
the oven. It is cool though. I like how they have the table sitting on the barrels. And one of the other entrances.
I guess this would be another gate.
Yeah.
We'll just take the walk along the river back out.
A little more of the lake, which is really beautiful. Little Tennessee River. So, as I promised, the Tellico Blockhouse. It's what's left of it anyway. Currently, we're in that parking lot. I'll need to walk down there. But the blockhouse was a United States fortification constructed in 1794 and in use through 1807. Primarily, it was used as a check against white settlements deeper into Cherokee lands, and it also served as a home to the Tellico factory, a trading post and diplomatic station for interactions between the Cherokee and federal government. So let's go take a look at this. And Stephanie's in the car. We'll say it's pretty warm today, and under that hot Tennessee sun, Steph-N-Lee melted. So she's pulling herself together in the air conditioning. So I'm gonna take you along with me, and we'll go take a look at this, and then she'll get to see this too. So almost there. Another look out on the lake. A lot of Cherokee villages ended up now at the bottom of that lake when they put the dams in. And here we are. Tellico Blockhouse. Or at least what's left of it. Not a whole lot. I'll try to find a picture of what this originally looked like and post that. There's a well, the water down there. But you can see where the buildings used to be, which is kind of cool. Not much left. Here we are along the lake. kind of cool.
It's a warm one.
It is. So what'd you think of Fort Loudoun?
Fort Loudoun is an amazing, beautiful, well done visitor center. I highly recommend it. I think there's not too many people that even know it's out here, but it depicts an important part of history. It's the last existing and one of the very first forts
On the Western Front, yeah.
that depicts the original trade route when we were still South Carolina.
Yeah. Who knew? But yeah, there's a lot that goes on. I know a lot of people get caught up in, having to go to this big like national park, or you have to go to here or there, but a lot of these state parks hold just as much value, if not more.
So much. And everywhere there was a treaty, which this fort that we just visited happened to be a fort of treaties between the British and the Cherokee Indians, and we got to talk to and visit with and learn so much about the Cherokee vibe and life at that time at the fort. It was very amazing.
Had fun throwing axes.
Thank you, Kyle. Yes, I know how to throw an axe now.
Yep. Do you remember what the other thing was called?
Yes.
Nor do I.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun too.
You'll see it.
Unfortunately, somebody didn't have the camera on when I threw mine, which I did very well at. But of course, there's no video evidence of that now, so
that
that's
happens
okay.
sometimes, folks. There's so many good things that we want to bring to our friends and family out there, and every once in a while he hands me the camera and you don't get to see any of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of truth to that statement.
Oh, well.
But at any rate, we had a great day.
We most certainly did. Thank you, Kyle.
Yep, and we hope that everyone enjoys this video. We want to thank everybody for watching, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Subscribing more than anything helps out a lot for a small channel like ours, and will eventually, hopefully, help us continue to do this kind of stuff. And until next time, have a Steph-N-Lee day.